Sulia.
Welcome to SUSU.
Yeah, I like that.
Sulia. I think that's the name of this
episode. Welcome to Sulia.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
If you don't know, this is the #1 podcast in the world coming to you live from
Right. Chado Accra,
Ghana, sharp. Anyway, so my name is Joe, the voice of gold. I'm joined by
Joseph, aka Drew, in the 419 shit.
So when playing the Makalele role.
Yep.
And SUSU GRAHAM.
Why are you saying that?
Am I supposed to add something?
Yes, of course. Let the people know who you are, bro.
Usually I get introduced, so it's not.
Oh, okay, Joe, do the honors.
So this is a wonderful friend of ours, a big man in the sports industry,
I'm
journalism industry.
I'm up and coming.
He's a producer,
humble.
He's a journalist. He's a TV extraordinaire.
He's on one of the biggest breakfast shows in Ghana.
If not the biggest.
Definitely the biggest English speaking. I think Peace FM are bigger than us, but English speaking for sure.
English speaking, yes. Also on Sports Panorama.
Yes.
In taking social media trends.
Another biggest sports show in Ghana.
Second biggest after Sulia. So
welcome to Sulia.
To Sulia.
Yeah. So let's just dive into it quickly.
Yep.
Let me move to SUSU.
Yes.
When did you get interested in football first? What do you think? I mean, what was your first? We see you wearing an AC Milan jersey. It's not normal. Where are the origins?
Me, I've been a football fan since I was say about like 2002. So the 2002 World Cup was when I really got into the sport of football.
Korea, Japan.
Yes, exactly.
That's the first tournament I remember clearly.
Yeah, I think our age group, that's what we remember. I even wanted, the Ronaldo haircut. The one, I went to the barber, I asked for it. They said no, and I cried. I cried, of course, because who didn't want that haircut? So I've just been something I've been interested in. I've been living, breathing football a lot, since I was a youth. It's actually less now that it's work because sometimes I need a break from football because so it's really been a passion for the longest time, and it's a privilege to cover it for work because I think it makes the days a bit easier, There's still a lot of stuff you have to do you didn't want to do, because I was talking to a friend about this. Like, have you ever had to watch a football match you didn't want to watch?
Many times.
But you see, when it becomes where you have to watch the match, you have to be, paying attention. You'd rather do something. It can be difficult, but at the same time, like I said, I'd rather have to watch football that I didn't want to watch than do something else. So I'll take it. So So it's an interesting journey.
And the AC Milan jersey, what was the story behind
it? I've been an AC Milan fan for the longest time. I think they're one of the few teams that caught my eye, because back then there was Shevchenko, Kaka, Seedorf, Gattuso, Pirlo, Maldini, of course, Nesta, Cafu, Dida, thank you, Kaka, Kaladze, Ambrosini. So these are guys I really enjoyed watching. Used to use them a lot on FIFA. You know how it is. And I don't know if you remember, was it FIFA 2005? Shevchenko was on the cover. I don't know if you guys can pull that up. I think Shevchenko was on the cover of that. So it's a team I've watched for the longest time, So
how did you feel during the dark times?
Bro, I was about to ask now.
I'm currently in
Istanbul.
I'm currently in the dark times right now.
So. But what about the night in Istanbul?
To be fair, I was like 9, so it's like it hurts, but like I was 9, To be fair, the thing that's pained me the most in football, I have to say, is Asamoah Gyan. I think AC Milan is a bit, it's different. Ghana is like it's Ghana. Yeah. I think between Asamoah Gyan and the Ivory Coast shootout, I don't know which one bothers me more. The AFCON 2015. Those are the two things that have really pained me in football. So
So me, I want to know how did you get into media, sports journalism?
Well, so I only started working at City FM to do research. So I wasn't meant to do sports. That wasn't why I was hired. I still do a lot of research actually. So I produce for various shows. So I'm a producer for the City Breakfast Show, which I now do a bit more. I do tech and social media trends there now. It's a segment. So I also produce Point of View, which is a current affairs show. And like general stuff, like sometimes people need some numbers, figures. So I do a lot of news, but I'm not on air for news. So that's why people think, oh, I'm a sports journalist. But you know, it's not everyone who's on air for some of those things. So I did my national service. I was doing mostly research. I didn't do any sports. And when I was hired, I guess now they are looking, when they are hiring you, they want to do something. They don't want to maybe put you on air, use you a bit differently. So I used to actually talk a lot with the sports guys about sports. So they realized, okay, this guy, he kind of knows what he's talking about.
The coach.
Well, no coach then, because coach doesn't work for, but you know Fentio Tahiri. Yes, he was the sports editor when I was hired. He thought I had potential. So he said, look, he spoke to the HR, he spoke to Bernard that, look, I think we can use this guy for sports. I think he can do stuff on air. So let's kind of give him a chance. So so I'll say that if I have to talk about someone who gave me a chance, especially in terms of sports, it's really Fentio. So like, because he was like the one who's like, okay, let's hire this guy, let's do sport, because he's the editor. So he has to justify me being a sports journalist now. So I added that in addition to the research I've been doing. So like I said, I produce these shows which are like, I don't know if any of you have watched Point of View. So it's proper interviews, you know. So sometimes I even write some of the questions beforehand, that kind of stuff. So it's not like, so that's the more I do day to day, that kind of stuff.
So Point of View, if I continue.
Yeah, no, you can ask the question.
Point of View is Bernard Show, right?
Yes.
So how is it working with a personality like that?
It's quite demanding. I think because he takes his stuff seriously. Like, so when you do research, you have to give him very good research, quality research. You need to make sure he's informed. It's not like he's someone who doesn't do his own research, but it's more like you are giving him something to kind of maybe work with to find the details, or he already has an idea, but he wants you to kind of streamline it and make it easy because he's also the general manager. Exactly. So there's a lot of admin he also has to do in addition. So he can't say he's going to take the whole day to read. Maybe he's come to interview someone. He can't say he's taking the whole day to read the person's autobiography, you know. So that's where we come in as the production team to make these things easier. It's not like he's coming in uninformed, but you make it easier for the person.
Wait, so you did journalism in school?
No, I just studied political science. So I don't have any journalism training at all.
Serious.
So but I think it's one of the things you can learn on the job for sure. It's just that once you have decent writing, you are observant, you are really willing to learn, I think you can do it for sure. Yeah.
So and that's how you also made it there.
We have two celebrities here and one behind the camera. Sulia,
I said the same thing that I didn't go to journalism school, and you learn on the job. When you enter it's in your face. You learn.
Sometimes they'll just send you someone with the cameraman and the microphone and say, you have to make magic.
You have to do it because if you come there with nothing, bro,
they'll sack you.
And I have to say that's one of the things that you have to be able to, like, one of the things I don't like doing, and thankfully I haven't had to do for a while, is a vox pop. So you know those ones where you go and you see they talk to random people and ask them questions like, oh, what do you think about this thing? And people really don't like talking to cameras. They don't like cameras at all. So
I'm surprised.
No, so you talk to them, you talk to them and you're like, oh, you want to, if you just ask them, they might want to talk to you. But once you mention TV, radio, that's how they say, oh, and because you're an English station too, sometimes like, oh, it has to be in English.
They don't want to make any mistake.
Exactly. And the truth is, for us, doing it in a local language is stress, because you now have to go have someone translate if you don't understand that specific language, subtitle it, which is a lot more work. So you yourself don't want to do it in a local language. So
I just do for subtitles better like 17 times. I've been seen it once.
It's a lot of work, honestly. Like, I think people underrate some of these things. And then sometimes if you hear on the radio when they're doing the news reports, have you noticed sometimes maybe they start in like 3 and then you hear the voice over. That's also work, because someone has to translate it. Someone has to go and read the voice over, record it. You have to edit it. You have to edit it and put it in the report. It's more work than you think. But one of the things you really have to know, you learn, is sound editing for sure. Not necessarily video editing, but you need to be able to do a bit of sound editing.
So why are you acting like you don't know what you're talking about, bro? All these is Zoo does it. Like, he lets everything multimedia
by himself.
So it's
That's cool. So without much further ado,
let's get into it.
Let's get into the real reason we call Susu.
I thought it was Sulia. I thought it was
Susulia.
Susulia.
Let's get to the Susulia.
I thought this was a personality interview, you know. I thought I was coming to just talk about myself.
Yeah. So let's get into this weekend, and nowhere better to start than the biggest game of the weekend: Man City versus Chelsea. Joe, did you see the game?
I saw
Then-
bits and pieces.
Where was Robert Sanchez going?
I saw that one there.
That's one question we'll get into. Where I want to start from is the lineup, right? First of all, before even the lineup, Kyle Walker
Yep.
is now wearing number 32 for AC Milan.
AC Milan.
Susu, AC Milan fan. You're saying you're struggling.
Well,
What do you think this signing will do for you?
you
guys?
see, it's one of those things, right? How do I put this? If you and someone get 3 out of 10 and 2 out of 10, you are better with someone with 3 out of 10, but you haven't passed.
No.
That's what Kyle Walker is to me, because Emerson Royale was our starting right back. So if you bring Kyle Walker in, okay, it's an upgrade, but it's like, it's the most uninspiring upgrade I can think of, because this is a player who's on the decline.
Done.
His only good attribute is his pace. His position is bad. His reading of the game is bad. He's a very average footballer outside his pace. And if his pace is starting to decline, it's only going to decline more because of his age. So for me, there's no upside to this signing.
But it's a loan.
With an option to buy.
Option to
but
buy.
they are likely to exercise the option because frankly, paying 20
Emerson Royale, yeah,
because
no.
paying 20 million for Emerson Royale was the first mistake. And I think AC Milan have had a very bad transfer window because you bought Tammy Abraham and Alvaro Morata, and now you are trying to buy another striker from Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys saw him in the Champions League. I think he scored 2 goals against Bayern. Was it the last game? The last game week in the Champions League. I think he scored
last season and all.
yeah, he's been in very good form. One of the better strikers in the Dutch league. But why didn't you just go for him in the summer?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just take the punt on him? Because now you have Morata, you have Tammy Abraham, you have Luka Jovic, who you signed the year before, who you just are not playing. So it just feels like a lot of bad market decisions.
Who's responsible for this Zlatan?
Oh yeah, Zlatan.
So you don't think Zlatan is the man for the job?
Oh, he's useless.
Oh, wow.
So he's there for vibes.
No, he should stick to motivating the players. He shouldn't be buying them. Because if he's there, I don't know who's exactly responsible for buying the players. Because we won the last time we won the league. I can't remember the year. Was it 2021 or 2022? The year escapes me. He was key to that because he played a bit and he raised the standards. When he joined the team, he raised the standards because he came in the way he was trading, the way he carried himself. The other guys were learning from him. You know, he played through a torn ACL, was draining fluid from the knee, all of that. So he really gave it all to win that title, and I would never take that away from him. And considering the fact that he won a title in his first spell, came back, won another title and left, he always have my respect. But just because you are good at playing football doesn't mean you are a director.
I feel like he was even rewarded with the director position because
we had a good director in Paolo Maldini, and he told our new owner Jerry Cardinal, we need to spend money, and the man was not willing to spend money, so he sacked Maldini. And this is, I would say, it's offensive to the institution of AC Milan. Paolo Maldini's father, Cesare Maldini, was the first AC Milan captain to lift the European Cup. Paolo Maldini has come and lifted the European Cup himself. His son has played for AC Milan. Milan cannot talk about their history or anything without the Maldini family. So for us to treat him this way, I think is embarrassing. You have your disagreements with them, but you can't treat certain people this way. So you do that, and now the team is going downhill, and it's almost like I told you so. You know, we had, I think, was it 125th anniversary recently, and he wasn't present. I mean, some of these things is just it happens when there's new ownership, different ideas. People want to do their own thing, but sometimes follow who knows road. He's won a title as a director. He's won titles as a player. I think his voice should have been given more. Sorry for ranting about AC Milan. We're meant to talk about Man City. So let's go back to Man City.
You guys sorry, before you go back, you guys are renewing deals for Theo and these guys. What's this guy's name?
Tijani Reinders. Yes, Tijani Reinders.
I'm hearing different things from all of you.
Reinders.
We're
not
Somebody
Dutch.
say reindeer.
We're not Dutch, so it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Theo, obviously one of the best left backs in the world. No brainer to renew. Tijani, I think, great signing because we signed him from Feyenoord actually. AZ Alkmaar. he's a player I wasn't really sure about. I didn't watch much of the Dutch league, but he's really surprised me. He's become one of the better midfielders in Serie A. So I guess exactly he plays very well for
very well in the Euros.
Exactly. So fair enough. I mean, those are good no-brainers. But I think a lot of the transfers who have come in the last year and a half, a lot of flops. Chukwueze has been very poor.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
No.
Yes, I have in the Champions League.
He's been quite poor.
Glimpses. He watches them week in, week out.
He's just not giving
So,
enough.
Rafael Leao, do you think
that's a solid player.
he should be moving on? Is that somebody you think?
I mean, from an AC Milan perspective, I don't want him to move. But if I was his agent, I'd be telling him to move.
But the team now.
Yeah, the team is not. I don't think the team is as ambitious as a player of his level. I think this is one of the best wingers in Europe.
Very
so why should he waste? Why should he waste his time having to feed Alvaro Morata? Why should he? You get what I'm saying? Like the level he's at, he should be playing for a team that's challenging for the Champions League. He shouldn't be having to struggle against Parma, struggle against Hellas Verona or whoever we are going to struggle against next week. It's not fair. So, and that's why I feel like people
already knows they're going to struggle.
No, easy, and that's why people are unfair on him. I know there's a lot of discourse that he's lazy, he doesn't contribute. I don't think that's true. 90% of what comes good from AC Milan is the left side. For the longest time, we didn't have anything happening on the right side. We had maybe Brahim Diaz who play one game, Alexis Salamakers who play one game. We had Junior Messias, all sorts of jokers playing on the right wing. And you have Theo and Leao just doing a two-step on the left wing, winning us games single-handedly, winning us the title. So he does so much on the attacking front. Now Pulisic is helping him out. That's great. But
I wanted to ask about Pulisic.
Oh no, I think he's been a very good signing.
In America.
Yeah, but you see, people are likening his attitude, his Leao's attitude to not Vashi, Wilfred Zaha. So they're saying that they are kind of toxic for the dressing room.
Hey, which people are saying this?
I feel like
there's
has a better version.
Vibes guy.
But you see, I feel like some of these narratives are overplayed because you see someone frustrated on the pitch. It doesn't mean there's frustration. It doesn't mean he's causing trouble.
Yes.
Because you don't hear much about issues with AC Milan like that. It's not a dramatic club in that way. But I think there's all this over focus on him because he's the star player.
Star
and there could even be an element of racism, to be honest. Because these things do play, especially in a country like Italy, where you see a black guy throwing a tantrum, not really doing certain things.
Mon or monkey.
Yeah, exactly. So these things are inbuilt in the way we view footballers, the way we judge them. We can't escape this implicit bias. So I think he's being unfairly maligned despite his performance and his outputs. Because this is a guy who regularly gets some of the most assists in Serie A. Look at the stats, most shot creation actions, take-ons. Like he delivers. Even if the team is not doing well, he's always doing well. So I think it's a bit unfair because he's a bit tired. He doesn't want to track back. He throws some tantrums once in a while. I think the good he does for the team, even those tantrums and I'll say is what 10%, 15% of his game. 85% he's trying to make stuff happen. He's trying to do things. He might have some weaknesses to game, but who doesn't? The one thing I have to say is his finishing. I think he needs to work on his finishing. He needs to make more runs off the ball. But apart from that, I don't think there's anything I can complain about as a player.
When the ball's on his feet,
and he's not a player who's very selfish. He's very willing to pass the ball when he's in good position.
Making plays.
Yeah, so I think the criticism. I think the criticism is overblown. I think a lot of people want players to be perfect. They want them to do the right thing all the time, but it doesn't work like that.
I think it's FIFA.
They are human beings, bro.
Exactly. It's not FIFA out here.
Every day is a different day.
Fair. Are you okay now?
Yes.
Any further questions?
Oh, that's at the end of the episode. Sure.
All right. Back to Man City. So the reason I mentioned Kyle Walker before we spoke so much.
What's it called?
Segue.
That's good. Yeah, I was very happy because you don't hear much about other teams a lot out here, especially so.
I don't even talk much about AC Milan at work. I think that because we have Premier League radio rights, so you have to sell the product. That's our main product, so we have to discuss it, keep it relevant. So
Yep. So in the spirit of keeping the Premier League relevant, Pep threw in his new signings. Can you help me with their names?
Kushanov.
Omar Makush.
Mamouche.
Hey, we say Makush.
I thought it was a K inside though. Sorry.
Mamouche and
we'll just say Kuzna.
Player of the month. What in December
What was that?
or November? Mamouche.
in the
Bundesliga.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I think he was the first player in Europe's top 5 leagues to get 10 goals and 10 assists.
Yeah, the guy is very, very skillful.
I think he has 20 goals already. So
Crazy.
Yeah, that boy.
Crazy. And the other guy, what's his name?
We just say Kuzanov.
Kusanov. Well, there's a longer version.
No, the first name there is
Kusan.
is Abukir.
So
Look, the names there, they're not easy.
that's why I asked you people to say it. I didn't even venture. So yeah, in Pep, these guys were just signed last week. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Kuzanov joined like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like just before the Champions League game or the day after.
And Mamouche also joined just last week.
Yeah.
So for such a big game on Saturday, you know, the City, we all know how City has been going with this divorce thing happening. And I saw a tweet online that maybe Pep's wife was the tactical.
Yeah.
Isn't that so interesting? Because, you know, the team hasn't been doing so well. We saw even in the Champions League. They were leading and then they managed to lose the game. So
What a game, though.
to put
PSG.
these guys into the starting 11 from the get-go is crazy. I saw like another tweet that Mamouche was signed to play for Doku because Doku was shit. Doku was signed to play for Grealish because Grealish too was shit. So we're hoping that
you left Savinho out. It's Mamouche to Savinho to Doku to Grealish. To be honest, the whole thing about a player performing in big games to me is a little bit irrelevant because those are the hardest games. Those are going to be the hardest games to perform.
Yeah, man marking you.
Yeah, you are playing against better defenders, better coaches, better like.
But what I want to say about that is that I feel like that's why we sign you. We don't sign you to play. Obviously, it's very important to score in all the matches, but the biggest game is where we want to see you shine.
I actually completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I'm in the minority when I say this, but
minority.
let's just look at let's just look at a league table. Let's look at a league table, right?
Sure, nice one.
How many? You play 38 games. The top 6 is 10 games, right? Let's just use England's example. The top 6 is 10 games. There's 28 other games. If you win those 28 other games, you are very likely to be first or second.
Yeah, or very high.
Because winning 28 games, it's a lot of games, right? Yeah. And that's the point. If you win all those 28 games and you even draw half of the games remaining, you're in a very good position. That's where the majority of the points are won. I get that those are the games with the most scrutiny and the most things, but they're also the hardest games. So if your numbers drop in those games, it's to be expected. I'm not surprised that any player has lower numbers in big games. They are big games. I think sometimes fans are too critical because those are the games that mean more to them. So it's like, he didn't win us this game, so you're angry. But you're not thinking about the fact that he's won you 20 games before that.
But you see sensationalism. Thank you there. That word he said. Sensationalism. Because we also have big game players. Like if you cast your mind back, somebody like Drogba or
Very
even presently Mo Salah, like in the big match.
But you see, Mo Salah,
go on.
Every game he performs. There's nothing like big game, small game. He's going to perform.
Score. But as a fan, obviously when I'm watching, Chelsea versus Southampton, cool. Palmer scored a hat-trick, okay. City versus Newcastle, no Newcastle, what's the small? Leicester City, Alan scored. Yeah. I'm happy. But when it's the big match where you call your friends and sit down, I feel like it just means more. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, and that's exactly how fans think. Yeah. And a good example is the Henry Drogba debate. Because Henry played 10 finals and scored 1 goal. Yep. And Drogba played 11 finals and scored 10 goals. Yep. So people start to try and compare them. But are we being serious in this? Like, as players, if you take away their finals, there's no comparison. There's no universe where you tell me that
week in, week out.
Week out. Henry won top scorer like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. Drogba won twice. Even the 2 he won. Drogba had exactly 2 seasons he scored 20 goals in the Premier League. Henry did it like 4, 5, 6 times. Yeah. So I'm not saying that Drogba is a scrub. I'm not saying that Drogba is not a good player. But if you start focusing on micro details, 10 matches in the span of a career, and you forget to look at the whole career, is what did they say? You're not looking at the forest, but you're looking at the tree or whatever they say. They're saying is that's what happens when we start to focus on big games, because most of your games are not big games. I do get why fans are frustrated because those are the games that matter more. Yep. I totally understand.
That's when they laugh at you. Your friends
exactly, but at the end of the day, it also matters when you score in every game to get a team to a final. You're not getting to the final if you don't score in a lot of games. You get what I'm saying? Because let me give Benzema, when he won the Ballon d'Or, as a good example. He didn't score in the Champions League final. Are we going to say because he didn't score in the Champions League final, he he didn't do anything to win them that trophy.
Definitely he did a lot.
He scored 15 goals in that Champions League season, 10 in the knockout rounds. But we're going to say, he didn't score in the final, so Vinny is the reason they won the Champions League.
Obviously,
you get what I'm saying?
But you see, another thing I want to raise is, again, the big game players. Because for Real Madrid, they are used to a big scoring man like the man, the myth, the legend, Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, as for him, in the big match, he will tell you that, today I'm scoring a hat-trick. And when the match comes, guess what he will do? He will score a hat-trick. So...
But Gareth Bale had a similar record in finals to Cristiano Ronaldo, and they chased him out of the club.
I understand, but...
They chased both of them out of the club.
Ronaldo chased himself, actually.
He felt bigger than every club. And
so you get what I'm saying? I feel like the big game thing, it's a bit overblown. Like, I guess it's important, I guess it's great, but you won't care at the end of the day if they score an own goal, your defender scores a corner from a set piece, if you win the trophy. At the end of the day, you probably might not even remember who scored, depending on the situation. It's just a stick that's used to beat players in the player comparison debates. It actually doesn't matter at the end of the day, because most players who are even in those debates is because they've won a lot of trophies, they've won a lot of awards, they've been consistent 30, 25 games a season.
It's like, what else can we say?
Those few games that, maybe they were marked a bit harder, they had a bit tougher, and we start using it against them. That's not the majority of games. So I feel like my personal view is that you have to judge players based on the average of all their games. The big games, I get it matters more. The big games I use for me is like, if you are both performing 25, 30 games a season, that's where it comes in. But to tell me that, Drogba is better because he scores in finals, I'll never accept that, because there's so much more to finals. There's so much more that comes before.
The gameplay, the plan.
Exactly. So,
but if you look at what's his name, Tuchel versus Pep, that final. I'm not going to say that Havertz was the best player.
Havertz has shown that
that was his first Champions League. That was his first Champions League.
And I always say that I feel like that match sports Havertz's career. Because now, what position is he?
We don't know.
Is he a striker because he scored in the Champions League final? Or is he a midfielder because that's where we know him from? Is he a false nine wing? What position are you, bro? And I feel like every coach is confused because when do we play this guy?
And honestly, the same as like Mason Mount.
No, I don't know about Mason.
No, I'm talking about Mason. No, but when he was that season in Chelsea,
he played the pass for Havertz.
Yeah, he did.
They played him at 10. They played him at right wing. They played him at left wing.
But
he can play 8.
No, he's a utility player and he works hard. He does a job. So I understand.
It's Havertz then.
It's not the same because Havertz own. It's like we know you for scoring goals, but really and truly, that's not your career.
It doesn't work as hard as Mount.
No.
And also, Havertz did score a decent amount in Germany before he came.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but he was playing more as a number 10 support striker, whatever you want to call it.
He was an attacking midfielder kind of guy.
So
now all of a sudden he has played strike once.
Yeah, but you see, I think sometimes changing systems, some systems help players, some systems don't help players. But if you are playing behind the striker and you go to a team, that they don't play, you go to a team that they don't play that type of role, they have to decide: are we going to play you in midfield? Are we going to play you in strike? Are we even going to move you to the wing? And some players don't do well with that adjustment. I'll say Dybala is a very good example of this. Very talented player, but if he's not playing behind the striker, he struggles. His level drops. When he's behind the striker, he's playing 9, 10 out of 10 football. He moves to the wing 7, 8. He moves up front 6, 7. Like his level drops. So it means that you have to build your team around him, plan your tactics around him, change the way you play just to fit him in. And you have to ask yourself sometimes when you're a top team, is it worth it? Are the tactical limitations worth it to play this one player that way? Because the truth is, Arsenal would be better off if they had a striker and Havertz was playing behind him.
So the producer is prompting us. Let me just say one more thing about this Man City game, right? Speaking on these kind of players that the whole team needs to fit around, then we have the opposite. A player like Gravio. What are you? Where are you a striker or a defender, bro? Like, because for Man City, did you see the goal he scored? Even before he scored, he made some chance. He's always on the attack.
I have to say, I'm very surprised by the type of player he's become at Man City, because this was a guy who played mostly as a centre back at Leipzig.
Centre back, left back.
You remember him in the World Cup? Against Messi.
And he was a proper man marker. He was the boss heading the ball. That's what we saw at the World Cup. So we thought he was going to be some physical bruising centre back, and now he's playing free. He's playing false three. False three. He's playing false three. You know false three. The original false three is Andre Santos. Do you remember the Arsenal left back? That's the original false three.
Who remembers?
Arsenal wing backs this guy is good. What's his name? Cedric Suarez.
Oh,
Is
he's still there.
He's going to some team in Brazil.
Really?
Yeah.
But that guy,
Is he still at Arsenal?
He moved to Fulham after. He moved to Fulham.
He left.
Because
He went on a loan.
No, they moved him to Fulham.
He was a good player, so that's true. So yeah, just trying to wrap up. Susu, what else do you have going on for us aside obviously panorama, tech and social media trends? Point of view. Is there any upcoming stuff we should know about?
Oh no, me, I'm the more cameras there is generally work. This is one of the few things I do. I've done, just for fun. Like I'm not a fan of being in front of the camera and that kind of stuff.
So you like behind the mic on the radio?
Yeah, I think I prefer producing it and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we should watch out for you tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah,
8 o'clock. Is that when this?
That's tech and social media trends. Yeah.
I always listen to that. And Zoo, I said Zoo, Joe, your mom.
Charlie,
shout out to her.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. hold it down.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah,
right?
Mama, you made it. I'm Mr. Sue.
You text me, I'll give her a shout out.
Straight up. I was a big fan of the Sports Panorama show.
Yeah. The first time we met, you actually told me that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy. Anyway, so this was the Sulia episode of Sulia. Anyway, tomorrow too, we are back with the league. It's match day 3. Watch out for the highlights. Watch out for the table. Watch out.
Yeah. So Thursday we do the trials. On Tuesday we play the actual games. So come through.
So I can come and do the trials now.
Yes, on
Oh
Thursday.
yeah, come do the trials. We get star players. So right now, Charlie, if you see the goals, if you see the goals that like Senam then things. Oh, honestly, shout out to Senam. Shout out to Edem. Shout out to Soa. Shout out to Mark.
Mark got 7 assists last week.
First game week, Mark was so ass.
Yeah.
But
In the
shout out to
midfield, but
Mark.
we moved him all right.
Oh man,
7 assists.
man, Mark the
Bio.
So you guys are just saying, you have to tell us where you are playing and what time.
Yeah, we
yes,
play
yes,
on
yes,
8:30 p.m. at Jolu.
Quick match.
Opposite Quick Mart. It's a really nice thing. There's great footage. We do everything.
So you
It's
play what?
vibes.
Thursday and Friday.
No, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So
Tuesdays for the league, Thursdays the trials.
So the trials, so they can tell you that you're not good enough. You won't.
Yeah,
They will definitely tell you that
it's not. I'm not doing
They'll let you know.
promotion.
Fair.
This one there, you.
So what does the trials entail? Because some of us we're interested in playing. We are
Yeah,
interested
you
in
just
getting
come and
active.
play. Literally, just come and play.
I'm not
7
playing.
aside, play for fun. If you are good,
so the Thursdays you can be coming to play for fun, but then the Tuesdays when they're serious. Okay, no, that one is cool. At least the Thursdays, some of us can come and stretch our legs.
Yeah, understand. We have good teams. We have Ebony, we have Akukoswa, we have Blue Skies and Rouge Club Rouge.
The Rouge team is Bio's team.
Yeah.
Look for them. They are carrying the whole team.
Charlie, Rouge, you have to
strong.
do better. Do better.
So yeah, shout out.
You have no future. You don't have future.
Shout out. You met. This is us online. You can meet us in real life too tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
This was
Sulia. Sulia. We out.
So you have to say something.
Sulia. How you say Sulia?
Sulia.
Sulia